Well, with my truck breaking down, I pulled into a campground. There's not that many people here, so it's not bad. But an hour and a half extra getting up here. And forgetting about it till tomorrow, I'm going to enjoy my evening. And since I'm in a campground, I'm going to unload my stuff, get it all arranged, get me a fire started, and have some dinner. Well, I've got my Coleman propane lantern with me. Well, it seems like I'm forever cleaning up fire pits. They're either full or they're, I don't know, all messed up or something. I don't know how deep I can go in here. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can dig quite a bit of stuff out of here. I love this campground. It's beautiful. And I just made up my mind I'm just going to enjoy it. And if I can't start my truck and drive out here tomorrow, I'll have a longer camp, I guess. I'll spend another night or two. And I saved this charcoal wood because that stuff hasn't turned to ashes yet, so there's still energy in it. So we'll burn it up. A lot of people spend a lot of trouble and stuff on fire starter kits and stuff. Yeah, they're nice to have, but if you got a Bic lighter, most of the time, get on in there and get some wood kind of piled up a little bit. If you can get just one or two pieces burning above each other, well, you got it. It'll go. And the lighters are cheap, buy a pack of 4 of them for a few bucks or something. Now, just kind of let that go, I think. And it should get going good enough here in just a moment. Time to chop some firewood. Chop it this way. You have to have an axe all the time, Yeah, I chopped 3 pieces at one time. Got me a deep bed of coals in there. This is why, one of the reasons why I don't come to organized campgrounds. Because every time I come, I get all pissed off. This is a beautiful campground. It's up almost 10,200 feet elevation. You got some nice grove of pine trees scattered about through camp. You got idiots that are chopping these trees up with hatchets. All the trees around here are just like somebody's got nothing to do but sit here and chop, and you see all the stuff run, all the sap run out of there. And I got to use a tree strap so I don't hurt the trees hanging my stinking hammock. I have to make sure I stay up high because otherwise I'm going to have all my stuff full of pine sap. Man, idiots. Well, I decided I'm going to have me some chili beans for dinner. Got up here, late because of truck problems and all that stuff, and camping in a different spot than I planned. And that should be plenty to eat. Well, if I don't eat it all, I'll save some for breakfast. Since I'm overlanding, so to speak, at my truck, I've got my cooking irons with me. So I'll just put these over here. Those coals are plenty hot. Guy right there. I think I'll put me some water on too. Might as well have something good to drink. Well, let's see how this sourdough is toasting up. It's toasting up pretty nice. As soon as that toast is done, I'm good to eat. Alright, toasted both sides. My chili's hot. Shove that right in there. It is eating time right now. Well, let's try some of this sourdough toast. Yeah, it's hot. Man, I love sourdough so much, it's crazy. I mean, it just changes the flavor of everything. I mean, you dip that in those chili beans and you got a whole different meal. Well, it's about midnight, probably time to put up my hammock. Got a HD poncho here. This is ATAX IX. I'm going to use that for my hammock. And I've got the new hammock strap kit. So the hammock strap kit comes with 2 of these G-clips by Dutch. And it comes with 2 tree straps. Has a sonai in one end and the other end is free. My webbing through each end. So that's the only thing I'm using is just the webbing with the eye through there. Alright, so I'm hung up. It's very simple to do. You just get your clip to however long it needs to be. Then you just hook it over. Hook it in the little deal there and you're done. It's really simple. So I'm in. I'm good. I probably need to drop the head in just a hair, but I'm in pretty good shape here and I'm good to go. Well, that's a good piece of ground right here for laying out my beast. There's a few rocks in the ground here and there sticking up, but they're not enough to mess things up here. Let's let her rip. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's really comfortable right there. So maybe I'll put a canopy on it just to show you. That's the only reason. I got my tent poles there, my adapters, and one goes on each corner, while the 45 degree right there. And we'll fill this was this thing here is, I don't know, 5-6 years old probably. But this is a high visibility PST, got reflectives all around on it and blaze orange besides. Alright, the poles are up. Now, hope if I don't stand on the tarp. Now my theory here was to go diagonal with it. So that right there would be over the middle. Okay, I've got my tarp kit for ponchos here, which has parachute cord, shock cord, tent stakes, easy clips, whole 9 yards. Pretty well everything you need to set up. Right there, I think. Back here around this tree, I want to kind of keep it a little high, kind of a space to enter and exit from. Got us a nice little shelter even though it's got kind of a small size, you know, when we put it out like this, 10 feet, 10 feet, we got a lot of space in that thing. The thing right there, it worked very nicely, and it's not very big at all. So here's the shelter on the inside. Like I say, this is the PST, 7 foot by 7 foot, pitched it on the diagonal. Gives us pretty good coverage. Gives us space over here on the side, on both sides, where you could put gear and stuff like that out of the weather. And you yourself will be pretty well protected. See, that makes a nice little shelter. This right here is doable. So there's my setup. Yeah, I've heated me up some hot water on the stove here. I got to mop off a little this morning. It always feels good to do a little something. Wipe off the cobwebs, mop off the dust, whatever. Set up camp last night in the dark. I don't even know what I did. I slept good. I do know that. I was gonna have some ham and eggs and stuff like that for breakfast, but these currants are all in. Some of these bushes are pretty loaded. So I think I might want to have some pancakes with currants in them. Yeah, these berries are kind of a treat because you're just picking them one or two at a time, pretty much. Ideally, you got to look for the brightest red color, or have the best flavor. So, you know, you're not picking them by the handfuls. Alright, I've got my currants here. Might be too many, I don't know. But I'm dumping them in anyway, what the heck. You only live once. Might as well live right. Alright, let's get them in the pan here. Cook up our first currant pancake here. Now the wind kicked up a little bit, so we're not cooking quite as good as I'd like to. We're cool enough up here, the butter is not wanting to soften up much, so we'll do it like that right there. A little bit of log cabin syrup. No high fructose corn syrup for me. We'll just open that up and you see those currants in there. You know, it's pretty well delicious. Yeah, when you bite into those juicy currants, get a burst of flavor. One thing people often ask about our blankets, and now with our new beast, one of the things people ask and want to know about is the beast waterproof? Is it got a waterproof cover on it? Same thing with the blankets. Are the blankets waterproof? And no, they're not. And they're not on purpose. They actually work better not being waterproof. Something that happens when things are waterproof is you wind up trapping moisture from your body or different things like that, or even moisture that gets in and winds up being trapped in there, and then you're in some ways you're worse off than if it wasn't waterproof at all. You know, I put my PST tarp over last night just for it wasn't going to rain or anything like that or whatever, but I just was doing it just to demonstrate the small size of the PST. It's our 7 by 7 foot tarp, 10 inches or 10 feet on the diagonal. And I put it up diagonally this way so I'd have the length I need. And then on the sides, it gives me a place to put gear and stuff. One thing people want to know is, well, if you're out here, you're just on the ground and you don't have like a bathtub floor like a tent or something, and it rains, is the beast not just going to suck up all that moisture? And the answer is basically no. You want to make sure that you're not laying in a depression, so when it rains or something it fills up. So you want to be more on a higher point, a crown or something. But something else to consider is, you know, if you're in a situation where you just got to deal with something, what you kind of want to do is raise yourself off the ground a little bit. That way anything that does get in can drain. Nothing we have wants to really hold on to moisture. It's very quick and easy drying. So with the beast, with our blankets, with any of that stuff, as long as you're not trapping the moisture, the water, it's going to drain out on its own. Alright, so I put the beast up here suspended between two of my gear boxes for camping. And just to show you that the beast does not want to hold on to water. Takes a moment for it to... And you see a lot of the water just runs off. It doesn't really want to hold on to the water. It wants to get rid of it, it wants to shed it. Whatever goes into it wants to come through it. And you see I can turn it on its side like this. And any surface water or anything like that that's in it. See, gravity's just pulling all that out of there. The water doesn't want to stay in there. If you got this thing absolutely soaking wet, you could tip it up on the side like this, and in not too long a time the water would drain out of it. It would be virtually dry. This doesn't want to just suck up water. In fact, the only thing we've got in here is right on the surface. And the cool thing is, because it's got resilience, anything that does get in there, I can roll it, I can squeeze it out, wring it out, roll up a beast. In the process of doing that, roll out water even if we're soaking wet. May not be the best area to set up because you can see it's sunken. So if you have a lot of rain, it's going to run down into this area, and it's got to fill up a little before it can run out. So right here would be a nice spot because it's elevated. It's pretty well higher than all the surrounding ground, and it's reasonably level. It's got a little taper that way, but you know, when you're laying on the beast, you have grip, so you're not going to slide off. That way, if you had a heavy rain, that rain is going to want to run off from here, and that prevents you from sitting in the water. Well, I can just lay this down right there. All that water I poured in here about an hour ago, barely damp. Now something else a person could do, put a little bit of some boughs down here. So what this does is gives you a little bit of elevation. So even if we had a pretty good downpour and there's some running water, this would keep us up out of it. And something like this, 5 minutes of gathering, and you've got enough to keep yourself up off of it. But you don't have to be off the ground much, just a little bit. So any moisture that needs to run can run underneath you. Along the ground, you're up off of it. You put the beast on top of that, and now you're pretty good in more severe conditions. So now I can take this beast here. And now I've got an elevated bed for, you know, some more severe conditions. Well, I think it'll make me a big biscuit for lunch, or whatever it is. It's in between lunch and dinner. There we go, just shy of what I need, but close enough. Okay, now add a teaspoon of baking powder, a little bit of salt. That's my dry ingredients. Just add water. Just add water would be good. Whoops. I'm gonna be wasting it. Alright. Gotta wait a few more minutes for my coals to get ready on the fire. It doesn't rain first. Well, we'll have to see what I can do. I just cook it all up, and obviously I'm not going to eat it all, but we'll cook it all. Just like that. And we got rain coming. Doggone it. It's going to be a challenge. Okay, now for water for this. You want a good stiff dough. So we'll keep working on it till I get it to a good dough. Well, we got hail now. Oh yeah, what a blast. What's going on? Fun, fun, fun. I'm glad I got the HD poncho on, because that hail's kind of stinging me at times. What a day, what a day. I gotta go rescue the fire, get it back going again. Alright, I'm gonna do the best I can. I had started working this dough just as the hail came. This stuff all kneaded out here. Well, the fire's warming back up. See what we can do. Well, it's not quite as beautiful as I'd planned. Having to restart the fire again after that hailstorm. That thing just flat out put it out. But then when it came back, it's like all of a sudden is a and cut this thing in half. Didn't quite go like I wanted it to, but use my silky saw to cut it. Well, actually it's pretty good. Right there, man. There you go. Just kind of let those toast just a little bit. I'll be ready to eat. Alright, so I got my big toasted biscuit, and I got a big chunk of slab of ham on there, some pepper jack cheese, scrambled eggs, and then the lid, the top. I'm not positive I can even get all this in my mouth. Oh. I did it, but I had to squeeze it. There we go. This tastes good after the rain and the thunder and the hail, the wind, all that good stuff. Hey, that's what camping's all about. Just living it up. Oh. I can't open my mouth wide enough. This is very good. It's a good mid-afternoon meal right here, I'm telling you. Pretty nice.